Hey, welcome back. I'm Francesco from Intrepid AI, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how easy it is to interact and integrate an existing ROS2 ecosystem. In this tutorial I'm going to create a publisher and a subscriber and of course consume messages that are created from a ROS ecosystem into the Intrepid graph. Let's get started. So the very first thing that we have to do when we decide to integrate with ROS is, of course, start the agent, as you will know from the previous tutorials. For this particular demo, I have prepared some ROS demo nodes that you can find on the official ROS repository, in particular the talker and the listener. The talker and the listener are essentially, well, the talker is publishing a string over a topic that I actually don't remember the name. We'll find that out. And as you can see here in the terminal, this publisher is publishing hello world and the sequence number of the message. On the other side, we can subscribe with the listener. So we are subscribing to the same topic. And of course, immediately after subscription, that particular node is just printing to terminal the message that it received. Now, in order to integrate this very simple ROS ecosystem, what we want to do is clicking the ROS logo here, this icon here. And as you can see, you are in front of the Intrepid ROS bridge, which is essentially telling you, hey, where's your ROS running? Now, we know that the agent is running on port 9180 on localhost, so we just connect there. When we connect, of course, we see that the Intrepid ROS bridge has already discovered a bunch of things, in particular the ROS talker, which is the publisher. It's a ROS node, and on the other side we should find also the listener. As you can see here, that's the subscriber. Now these two nodes are in fact communicating via a ROS topic which is called chatter. That was the name. And as you can see, the typical message that is exchanged over this topic is a string, as indeed it is. Now of course, if we kill, for example, the publisher, which means that essentially one node in your ROS ecosystem simply disappears or stops running, that is immediately reflected also in the graph, as you can see here, which is now only shows you the listener and the same topic. So the listener is subscribing now to chatter, to which nobody is publishing, as it is the case indeed. I just killed the publisher. And of course, if I also kill the listener, Control C here, the entire network disappears, which means that there's no ROS actors in there anymore, and there's only the Intrepid discovery agent that is ready to discover whatever nodes are started again from now on. And indeed, let's start the publisher again. And voila, we have the talker, and we can essentially also start the listener, and now we have also the listener. All right, now that we are connected to a ROS ecosystem, what we want to do next is creating an Intrepid graph and see how we can interact with these beautiful ROS nodes. So let's create a graph. I just created a generic graph. One thing that I want to do, of course, from this graph is, for example, publish. And so ROS2 publish. Now we want to publish at a rate of, let's say, twice per second. So twice per second, we want to publish a message. I don't know on which topic. Let's find out. Well, there is this chatter topic discovered by the ROS framework. So we can select that. And we can say, hello from Intrepid, that will be published at a rate of 2 Hertz, 2 times per second. Now, if we do so, well, first of all, we need to save this graph. Let's call it my ROS integration. And the other thing that we want to do is, of course, we can move to the listener here. And if you go up here, there is this start, the navigation bar, which is pretty much similar to what you find in IDEs, for example, Visual Studio Code, that allows you to start or pause or stop the execution of this graph in the tab. It's very convenient because you don't need to move away from the dashboard. You can just test things immediately as you design them. Now, if we click Start here, we will see that this graph will start executing, and we should see that the messages that are published by this publisher are also received correctly by the subscriber that is actually running in your ROS. So this is the ROS node, but the Intrepid publisher, they are pretty much communicating with each other seamlessly. Now, in the same graph that we have, we can also subscribe to an existing topic. So we can use the subscribe node, and of course we can choose the same topic. Now, what happens is that when we subscribe to this topic, we can also consume this message and do whatever. For example, we can print from the debug log, as we saw in the previous tutorials. So we want to connect these two things, and of course we want to connect message to log. At this point, the debug log is receiving whatever is the message that will be received by the subscriber, and then print this message somewhere. Now, somewhere, of course, it depends where you are looking at, because the agent, the Intrepid agent that is orchestrating all the ROS ecosystem and Intrepid graph execution for you will essentially receive that message and print to terminal, to standard out. But of course, you can consume the message and create another logic in the graph, or you can plug in a custom node or a Python SDK node, or just other visual nodes that you can create from your library, and so you can consume this message anywhere and however you want. So if we save this graph and we start execution, what we should see is, well, publishing hello from Intrepid at a rate of 2 Hertz, and at the same time we should be receiving these messages, and of course the messages from the ROS publisher, the talker that is still talking indeed. Let's see if that's true. So we play this. Now, if we go to our agent, as you can see, we see the hello from Intrepid interleaved with other system messages, together with the hello world and the sequence number of the ROS2 talker. So this will keep going. Now, of course, if you, like myself, would like to have things all in front of you, what you see here is like the number of messages that this particular node is receiving. You can click on those, and you will have this very convenient debug log window that essentially shows you the debug of this particular node. Of course, you can have more than one. So you can essentially see what's going on without moving away from your design dashboard. Another beautiful thing that we can do, and we are definitely proud of, is the step forward execution. So you can step forward, which means that now the execution of your entire ecosystem, so Intrepid Graph plus ROS, and why not, if you have Python SDKs, Python nodes, custom node, whatever you have, whatever the logic that you have in this graph now, can be debugged very, very easily with this step forward click. So you can essentially move forward. Now we are executing the publisher. As we execute the publisher, we should see one more message somewhere else. Then we go to the subscriber, and there you go, 183. Now we have the next message, and so on. And of course, this will keep triggering because I am publishing things at a much higher frequency. So this node will trigger as soon as something is received from the topic. So this means that I can step forward the execution of my complex logic and debug very nicely whatever is going on in each single node, which we believe is a very convenient feature. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial as much as I liked making this for you. And of course, let us know if you have questions. Feel free to sign up and start using Intrepid.